Rest in peace to Mr. David Lynch, who passed away just a couple of days before we recorded this session here. Huge loss. And, you could credit, we've discussed a good chunk of his movies for this show, and there's more coming around the corner. We'll have hit up most of his movies probably by the end of next year. We may complete all of his movies, and he's definitely one of those directors that is the reason we even would ever think to do a show like this.
Absolutely.
And we're obsessed with Twin Peaks. I mean, I can't put in the shot, but I ordered a custom arcade cabinet where they stick an emulator in it and have all those games, and it's customized a Twin Peaks images all over it. It's a Twin Peaks arcade cabinet. That's how much we are obsessed with the world of David Lynch.
I have a blue rose tattoo.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite shows of all time, and we haven't discussed Blue Velvet for the show, but that's a S tier movie. Man,
that's an S tier.
When that happens, we'll be talking about Lost Highway in a couple of months, 2-3 months, I think, and which is one of the few I have not seen.
Same. I'm excited.
So, yeah, just very tragic. He had emphysema. He smoked a lot, but I recently learned that people are offended by the word shut in, but I heard it described that he had he described himself as a shut in at the end of his life. And of course, there were these LA wildfires recently that destroyed a lot of the Palisades and stuff. And he had to evacuate, and he passed away from there. And even though he was an older man, and you kind of have these weird expectations and understanding when older folk pass, there's just something about this guy that you just never thought something like what he brought to it seemed almost greater. Like he himself was something that was just greater than just the basic trappings of humanity. And so even though he was such an older man and you knew the realities of life, just the fact that he's gone, it feels different than, most any other celebrity or anything else you would hear about passing away.
Yeah, and he also never spoke as though he were done.
Yeah.
So there is that wonder of what else did he have in his head that he wanted to do? He even said, I believe it was earlier this year, that with the emphysema and everything, that he couldn't direct in person, but that if he couldn't get back to that, if he had to, he would direct remotely, even though he wouldn't love that. But he wanted to still work.
Yeah.
That was still his goal.
I think the last thing he actually was able to do was when he had a cameo appearance as John Ford in The Fabelmans.
Yes.
Which he said he was paid in Cheetos. I wonder if it's puffy or crunchy.
Oh, it's crunchy.
Oh, it's gotta be.
It's gotta be crunchy. I have the same addiction. It actually it made me smile that he and I have the same Cheetos. I can't buy them and keep them at the house, just like he says he can't, because I would eat the whole bag.
He was also known for eating very healthy as well.
Yeah, that's why that was his cheat.
Yeah, but then he'd also have these moments where he would just wax poetic about Cheetos, or John Carpenter sent a tweet in memoriam where he and David would always talk about how much they loved Bob's Big Boy.
Oh, yeah.
As a restaurant. That was something that they always like to talk about.
I don't know if you've seen it. I don't think I sent it to you, but the Bob's Big Boy that he would go to, folks actually went and took flowers and pie and cigarettes and laid them all around the Big Boy at the Bob's Big Boy that he went to. So there's a little memorial for him.
You get me all
I know.
Flustered.
I know.
Well, we and for our this theme this month, we open the year with his first 3 movies. We kind of busted his balls about the transcendental meditation thing, but that was something that was important to him, and that's all that's important. We're really only busting the balls because of how expensive that shit is.
Yeah, because I actually looked into how much it would cost to do that at one point because of how much we love him. I was just interested. I wanted to find out more about this thing he was so interested in.
Yeah, we can't afford that. But
if you are a student and you're interested in it, do it now.
Apparently you can get a pretty good discount.
I think you can almost go for free if you're in school. So if you're interested at all, do it now. But you can also just do free meditation.
But David Lynch, a true artist and someone who does and will continue to inspire us into the end of our lives. And hopefully if something happens to where his name fades into the back of the zeitgeist, then it's our society's fault that's done something wrong. He should always, if you love film in any respect, his name should always be there. He is one of the great American masters. And I've said this before on an old recording that, say, if each country had to have a representative director to represent their country and their country's way of life, even though America is such a prominent movie culture society, I would pick David Lynch.
Yeah. Because
especially after his initial first 3 movies, I feel like his movies are just so American. Yeah, we will miss him. And I guess my only regret is that maybe I never got a chance to meet him and be awkward and not know what to say around him. But you know, we will always love David Lynch. He is the whole reason we would even think about doing something like this.
It's daydreams that I love, and sinking down, sitting comfortably in a chair, where you might be controlling some of the thoughts and directing yourself here or there, but at a certain point, the dream takes over, and you enter in a place where things are unraveling before you without your intervention. And many things can present themselves that way, and sometimes ideas that you fall in love with.